Well, good morning, everybody. It's a gorgeous morning out here. Looking across my wheat plot, wheat harvest is coming. It's not here yet, but we're on our way. It's been a while since I've been talking to you on the Better Cross by Barker video series, and there's a couple of reasons for that. The biggest one by far is that there really hasn't been a whole lot to talk about for us here locally. Despite the fact that there were armyworms throughout the province in different areas, we did not have significant numbers. If they did come in, what we saw, we came in pretty late, and wheat in particular can handle some feeding very late in the grain fill stages without sacrificing any yield whatsoever. Other insect issues like potato leafhopper and the alfalfa, we were watching that pretty close. But the same story, the numbers just did not build enough to warrant getting too excited about it. So consequently, there was no need to start spraying alfalfa. At least that was our view. We did get rain, as we know. We got some welcome rain here over the weekend. Right here at the shop, we got about 9/10 of an inch. Down the road to the west, there was an inch and a bit. But you go just to the east and it soon tails off, and it's quite variable. It could be half an inch. You go a little bit another direction, it's 2 inches. You go back to the south a bit and it's a 1/4 inch. And I understand as you go east, it's all over the place. So hopefully you did get some much needed rain, a little bit of relief from that drought stress. The drought stress is the other reason we really couldn't or didn't bother really saying anything, because when the best thing you can say is, well, we sure need a rain, there's not much point in talking any further. There's no doubt it was dry. And some of us have got, as we mentioned, some relief from that. The last thing I'm going to mention, we've been working on a new project, a new addition to the Better Cross by Barker video team. And that's what we're going to share with you this morning. Some things we've learned, and I hope you find it interesting. I have sure been having some fun with it. Well, just so that you know, those actual montage, that actual montage of videos, and along with the cheesy music, those videos actually were shot this past week. I had part in all those videos. I used our new addition. It is the Magic 2 Pro quadcopter from DJI. This particular model has been available for the past 2 years. The DJI family of quads and drones are widely recognized as being able to produce the highest quality video and video productions that are on the market today for a reasonable price. These drones here retail for a start at $2,000, and there's some options over and above that. But what we've learned, we've had this thing for about a week, and what we've learned when we fly fields is that you kind of see three things. You see things that you know, oh, I didn't need the drone to know what that is. That's where we drove last fall, hauling corn out of the field. That's where we over applied some nitrogen. That's an overlap, we know that. So you find those kinds of things. Then you find the things that are a little bit surprising, in that it's not readily visual from the ground, but you get up above and you'll see things, and you'll say, oh, I didn't know that was there, but I know what caused it. That's where I did a little bit of a sprayer boom clean out, as an example. You can't see any kind of a dramatic injury on the crop where you did a little bit of a flash, but from the air it sure shows up. So you get those kinds of things, clues into what you maybe did that affected the crop on the ground. And then you get some bunch of other stuff. Images and tracks and differences across the field, and you kind of scratch your head a little bit. I wonder what's caused that. So out of those three things, certainly the ones, the second two are valuable in terms of being able to go forward and adjust management potentially in use it as a means of improving crop performance and improving bottom line as we go forward. We're pretty excited about this thing. It really adds a lot to our crop scouting capability. Going forward, we're going to be adding additional software to it that will allow us to do NDVI, vegetative tracking differences across field. And what we're mostly excited about going into next spring with the Corteva suite of software, we're going to have the ability to actually do stand counts by flying a field, measuring those population counts at various points across the field, so that you get not only the population in those specific areas, in those specific spots that we decide to take a reading on, but then it'll also produce an average final plant population for the entire field. That's going to be great. I'm really looking forward. That's why I wanted to get into this particular technology and have the ability to do that. So I've also got, you'll find attached next, a couple of videos that we've shot just in the last few days, looking at a few things that you can see from the air. Hope you find something interesting. This is a field nearby that was beat up behind the windbreak. There's a single row of evergreen trees there, and normally windbreaks do great things to protect crops from severe winds, but last Friday night in that nasty little storm that came through, it did push corn down right here within 100, 200 rows of the windbreak. Pushed it around pretty good and flattened it on the ground in spots. Interesting in this particular one is if you go up and look further there where there's a break in the windbreak, the corn's fine. So it was just the way the wind swirled around those trees and the velocity that pushed the corn down and caused the reverse of what we normally associate with windbreak protection. I'm moving over here to just another spot away from the windbreak and the angle of the winds that pushed and swirled this small area of corn around. And what I'm going to do here is just demonstrate the mobility of this quadcopter. I'm going to zoom right down and sit almost on top of the corn. And look at the degree of stalk lodging and the direction of stalk lodging. So I'm going to move around a little bit, and then we will get down tight. And right there you can start to see to the left the degree of stalk lodging and how the stalks have kind of pushed over there. And this corn is recovering, so you've got two rows that are growing up amongst each other, which is what you would kind of anticipate after seeing corn at this pre-tassel stage get pushed over by the wind. And you can rotate and zoom around and do all kinds of interesting things with the mobility of this quad. And that's the view back up towards the windbreak again, showing kind of the damage from another angle. This is the wheat field at home. And actually this was also in the montage, but it was much greener. But that's right there is the same strip. That is the finish of the field where the sprayer finished up the last pass, and there's a bit of overlap. You've got some green wheat right between the wheel runs of the sprayer. As we move over, we actually, on this field, the standard nitrogen rate on this field was 150 pounds the acre. We split applied, put on 50 pounds more or less, plus sulfur the 1st of April, and came back late April with an additional 100 pounds. But in the meantime, we also, in early April, added 50 additional pounds on this particular sprayer pass. So we've got 200 pounds in under this one sprayer pass going up right up this line here. You can see the subsoil moisture holding capacity on the left is not good enough, and wheat died. There's a little patch there on the right where it's just the total opposite. Got a bit of lodged wheat because it is so fertile and lush right there. And then you follow and you can still see that tinge of green where you've got 200 pounds in, wheat's still standing quite well. We'll weigh it off and see what happens. One other thing that I was asked to do, Brian and John Urquhart were out asked to kind of take a look and see if this one chunk of wheat was ready to combine. And it's 135 acres. It's quite a hike from front to back, and it was hot and they were lazy, so they said, bring that drone over and let's go use it to go take a look in the back corner and see what this wheat looks like from a maturity point of view. So here we are in the very back corner, surveying the field and just looking at whether we can see any of those green patches in it or not. See if that straw is potentially dead enough to bring the combine over. And again, here we are, just shot as we swing up around the headland at the back of the field, and certainly appears that this wheat is far enough along that it would be worth bringing the combine over and giving it a start. We'll see what kind of moisture it is, but there is no green. It's done. It's ready to cut. So that was just interesting to use that to replace that long walk. So there you have it. Looked at some corn, looked at some wheat. What we really think going forward, a strong use for this particular technology is going to be scouting cornfields as they approach tassel, getting a grip on when that field actually is going to be ready for the appropriate timing for fungicide. When those tassels are fully emerged, we know that fields don't always emerge, tassels don't always emerge across the field uniformly. But having this bird's eye view on that will, rather than just kind of standing at the front of the road or getting up on top of the pickup truck box or the sprayer cab and trying to see what it looks like at the back, this will allow us to get to the back and then actually judge that field in terms of the tassel emergence and uniformity much better. I think it's going to be a great tool for helping to time fungicides here in the next couple weeks. And there's going to be other issues. If you want anything looked at in a field, give me a call. We'll come over and take a quick look. It does not take very long. So I think this is great. I'm really looking forward and going to have some fun and some great learning with this tool over the coming months. Thanks for watching. You're going to see more of this in the next few videos.